Good morning, Year 10. Our last bit of this topic is the volume of a pyramid and the volume of a cone. I've done you a few examples. Now on the GCSE exam this would be at the very top end and they'd normally give you the formula, but just in case it is on our formula sheet, please remember our formula is 1/3 times the base area times by the height. Now this means that they can assess whether you can calculate the area of a shape as part of this question rather than individually. So if you got a question like one of these, you wouldn't have an area of a square, an area of a triangle, an area of a circle on the exam. It would be incorporated into this question, so it's one that the examiners really like. I'm going to go through each one individually. Three main ones you've got to know about. We're going to start with a rectangular base pyramid, then a triangular base pyramid, and then we're going to go to a cone, which is obviously a circular base pyramid. So 2 key steps, and when you hand this in, please, I want to see you working out so that I can see that you've done these steps. So the first bit we're going to do, and this is worth 2 marks each time, is we're going to work out our base area. Now our base area here is a rectangle, which is base times height, so in this case that's 4 times 6, which is 24 centimeters squared. That gets you your first mark. My volume then is 1/3 times by that base area from over here, times by the height of my shape, which is the height straight up. There's quite often numbers on these diagonals to try and confuse you, but in this case that's 7. I can get to my calculator. I'm going to need to use the fraction button. So on my calculator I've got to do 1 fraction 3 times by 24 times 7, and I get an answer of, not plus 7, that doesn't help, times 7, which gives me an answer of 56. Now because it's a volume this time, don't forget my units will be centimeters cubed. So nice and simple, nice and straightforward. I'm going to move on now to a triangular base pyramid. Now again I'm going to work out my base area first. Now the base area for a triangle, so the area of a triangle is a half times base times height. Now unfortunately this is quite disguised, but here we've got a little right angle marking, which means actually we can start to draw this triangle out elsewhere. So I'm going to draw the triangle over here. There's my right angle, there's my side. I've got 6 at the bottom, 5 there, and 7.8 there. Now if I want base times height, I don't want that diagonal one, and in previous worksheets that's confused some of you. So I need to do a half times by my base, which is 6, times by my height, which is 5, which gives me 15 centimeters squared. That's going to get us 2 marks. So then I've got volume is 1/3 times by the base, which is 15, times by my height, which is this number straight up, which is 6. Again, I go back to my calculator, I use my fraction button. If I haven't got a fraction button, I can use 0.3333333333, go all the way across, times 15, times by 6. And I get an answer of 30 centimeters cubed. And if we're thinking about the GCSE marking, we're getting 2 marks here. Okay, and we're getting 1 mark for that last bit, which is just applying the formula. Last but not least then, I've got the volume of a cone. Now this time I've got a circle at the bottom. So again, I need to work out my base area. So my base area this time is pi times radius times radius. Remember the radius is the middle to the edge. And I'm going to use 3.14. And I'm going to times by 5 and times by 5. Put that into my calculator. Okay, could use the pi button if I wanted. It just slightly changes it at the end when we look at rounding. We will do a lesson on rounding in the forthcoming weeks. I get 78.5 centimeters squared. My volume then is 1/3 times by that base area, 78.5. Remember, if you've got more decimal places here, you'd have to put everything in here. Don't round mid-question. And we times by 10. So I'm going back to my calculator. I've got 1/3 times by 78.5 times by 10, get my answer 261, and I want to go here, it's asking me to go to 1 decimal place, so it's 261.7 centimeters cubed. 3 different types of questions, 3 lots of working out, so 3 marks for the working out for each question. Please make sure that when you hand this in, you mark it as complete, you send me a picture or a Word document with all you're working out on, and you tell me a total score. There are 8 questions in total, so the total score is out of 24. Tomorrow we'll be doing a revision lesson, lots of questions, and I will post a video and potentially even do a live lesson just to go through how to make that flashcard ready for our assessment on Thursday. Have a good day, Year 10.